The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee has recommended the recovery of 979 million pesos and the filing of charges against officials involved in the overpriced procurement of laptops for public school teachers. Our Senate reporter, Denisa Fernandez, has the details. Denisa?
Yes, Neil, the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee has recommended the recovery of 979 million pesos in the overpriced procurement of laptops for public school teachers and the filing of cases against executives of the Department of Education or DepEd and the Procurement Service of the Department of Budget and Management or PSDBM who were involved in the laptop procurement mess. The committee secretary, who read the dispositive portions of the 197-page panel report, said that the recovery of the 979 million pesos will be placed in a special National Teachers Trust Fund to support the health and medical needs of public school teachers and the educational needs of their children through a special scholarship program. Criminal and administrative charges are meanwhile recommended to be filed against DepEd and PSDBM officials who were involved in the fiasco. The committee also suggested that civil complaints be initiated to recover the 979 million pesos from concerned DepEd and PSDBM officials. The panel also proposed to abolish the PSDBM and require government departments, agencies, offices, instrumentalities to conduct their own procurement as an exercise of their fiduciary duty to be accountable for public funds appropriated for their respective offices. According to the panel's findings, there is sufficient basis to believe that there was a conspiracy to facilitate and/or generate an overprice, which indicates a manifest partiality, evident bad faith, and/or gross inexcusable neglect on the part of senior officials and staff of the DepEd and the PSDBM. Meanwhile, the report found Education Secretary Leonor Briones not liable on the issue, but the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee admonished her. Tolentino, panel chairperson, noted that the committee report mentioned that Briones may have unwittingly approved the new parameters that increased the price and decreased the number of laptops. When asked about Briones' possible legal liability, Tolentino said that there is none based on evidence. Aside from Briones, the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee also admonished former DepEd official Marcelo Bragado for not disclosing any knowledge about the allegedly anomalous gadget purchase. The Commission on Audit or COA earlier flagged DepEd's laptop procurement through the PSDBM as overpriced and outdated.
Denise, I understand you already mentioned that the Senate committee did not find any liability with regard to the involvement of Secretary Leonor Briones, but as the head of the agency, shouldn't there be any kind of a liability or just to some degree?
Neil, as explained by Tolentino, former Secretary Briones was just used. Based on the committee report, former DepEd Undersecretary Elaine Pascua recommended to Briones the approval of a new set of parameters for the approved budget for the contract. The report said, and we quote, "In the said purchase request, he cleverly disguised the reduced numbers of units by breaking the number down in lots without providing a total and stated the aggregate estimated cost without specifying the increased unit cost, though the column heading clearly required a unit cost and not aggregate." End quote. For the Blue Ribbon Committee, the move was clearly a ploy to downplay the adjustments, which would have alerted Secretary Briones to direct a full review of the supporting documents, seek further advice, and/or withhold approval.
So Denisa, what happens next? Who's going to, because right now, as I understand it, this is just a committee recommendation. This is just a recommendation from the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. So who's going to file the charges, the administrative charges? Who can file the administrative charges and where can it be filed?
Neil, the committee report will be transmitted to the Senate plenary for discussion and approval. Charges may be filed against the erring government officials by concerned entities, but the Senate is only recommendatory.
Have we heard any response from the officials who were recommended to be charged for their involvement in this case?
Neil, so far the officials who are recommended to be charged with cases still have not issued any statements on the matter.
Okay, thank you, Deniza. That's Deniza Fernandez reporting live.